My mom goes full missing person mode if she hasn't heard from me in a few hours. I currently live with my husband and our 2 kids in a different state than my parents. I talk to my mom frequently, but generally speaking I wouldn't say we have an amazing relationship, but I try to keep things copacetic, and I know she loves being a grandmother, so I want to communicate frequently to give her updates/pics of the kids. She will text or call, and if I don't respond in about 2-ish hours she will send a follow-up "everything okay?" text, which almost always everything is okay, I am just busy working or taking care of the kids, out with friends, watching TV with my husband, etc. If I still don't respond after another hour or 2, she has now taken to texting my husband to ask if he knows where I am. Both my husband and I are annoyed by this, and I've asked her many times not to take this route. This weekend things have come to a breaking point for me. My husband, the kids, and I took a trip to visit friends at their cabin. I didn't realize until we got there that cell reception wasn't great. My mom texted Saturday morning and I didn't respond since it didn't come through. Obligatory follow-up text asking if I'm okay a few hours later, then a text from my dad asking if I'm okay. My husband, who also didn't have cell reception, had missed texts and calls from both of them as well. Finally, we went out for an excursion and got signal. My husband immediately received a call from his grandma saying that my mom had contacted her to try and figure out what was going on and if we were okay. It has probably been 8-ish hours that I hadn't been in touch at this point. I was pretty livid, and while I've calmed down a bit I'm still feeling angry about being treated like a child when I'm an adult with children of my own. Has anyone dealt with a similar situation/relationship and been able to set successful boundaries? Anytime I try to bring this up with my mom, she claims that if I was keeping her in the loop more there wouldn't be an issue and will not acknowledge that she could be the problem. Comment: I've had this problem and it's awful. In my case, it was a friend. If I didn't reply immediately she would go into a tailspin. I would end up with texts that became increasingly hysterical and outlandish. It was incredibly draining. Is there a way to set up an autoresponder? I know with Apple phones you can set up driving mode so when people text it can auto-reply with a message. You can also specify who it goes to, so you don't annoy folks with the message. This has helped a lot, especially when I'm traveling or going to be away from my phone. With my friend, I eventually backed out of the relationship. That's not really an option for you. That said, if everyone knows she goes off the rails, maybe try to ignore it as best you can. Mom, I don't always have time to respond to you right away. You need to stop harassing everyone when that happens and just wait until I have time to respond. If, on the off chance, something is wrong, someone will let you know. There will be no more texts to husband, grandma, or anyone else asking where I am. If you can't do that, you'll get one phone call once a week and that will be it. I think you've enabled this behavior by pandering to it. At this point I would drop communication back to once a week, only responding to her messages on that day and not replying to any other communication until she has learned her lesson. Maybe inform other family and friends what is happening, and why, and tell them not to get involved/ignore messages from your mom or dad. If she learns her lesson you can slowly allow calumniation to be more frequent, but if she starts crossing boundaries again then tell her you will only get in contact with her fortnightly, then monthly, and so on. Next story 2. I need advice on how to talk to my partner about differences on money and life plans. Throw away because I'm worried my partner will see this. Sorry if this comes off as a long-winded ramble, but I don't have anyone I can talk to about it. I love my partner very much. We have been together for over 3.5 years and have lived together for 1.5. He is the most supportive person I have ever dated and we mesh so well together. He really is my best friend and the person I want to spend forever with. However, we differ a lot on life expectations when it comes to work and money. It may be worth noting that neither of us have or want kids. I grew up wanting a career and to be able to support myself. Being financially independent is really important to me. I crave stability. I got into a field that generally doesn't pay well, but after getting my master's degree I was able to land a job making 70K a year. I won't be rich by any means, but I can at least be stable with what I make. I enjoy working and am pretty ambitious when it comes to career growth. I don't mind working long days if it's needed. I want to be able to travel and afford to retire one day. As a person I tend to think about, and stress over, the future a lot. My partner is the exact opposite. He has been at the same job for almost 6 years and has barely gotten a raise during this time, makes 50K. Current entry-level positions in his field make more than that. There isn't any room for career progression at his current job because the company is like 4 people. He also doesn't get benefits or a 401k. He is working on getting an MBA, has taken on debt to do so, but seems to be unable to land another job. He also hates the idea of working regular hours. His current job is super flexible and he rarely works a full day or even half a day, but he also dislikes what he does. He doesn't think too far into the future. He keeps talking about giving up his job to open something like a laundromat or buy rental properties to fix up. He changes his mind so much. The thing is he barely has anything in savings, let alone retirement. I want to support him and his choices, but I don't want to have to be the sole financial supporter for us in the future. I think the stress of having to worry about constantly making enough for both of us to live comfortably would break me mentally. I want a partner, not a dependent. Honestly, I realize that a lot of this is me putting unnecessary stress and pressure on myself and jumping the gun, but it really does stress me out. I don't know if I should broach any of this with him, or even how to. Am I crazy to be worrying about this? I guess I am just seeking advice for what you would do in this situation. Comment. He won't change. You can't reason someone into ambition. You can love someone to the ends of the earth and until you die, but that doesn't make them for you. Love is not enough. If financial independence means that much to you, then he isn't the one. Who you make a life with needs to value the same things as you, or else you'll end up divorced. You'll end up divorced and with his debt. Finances are a main reason in the top 5 of why people get divorced. Next story 3. How can I get over my best friend's engagement? Honestly, not sure where to start here, but I know I'm gonna come across as very pathetic in all this, but regardless I need some advice. I and my crush, let's call her M, have known each other for about 7 years or so. We met in our late teens and became close friends quickly. When I first met M, I had no feelings towards her other than a I enjoy being around this person kind of feeling. She's amazing, kind, funny, caring, and a joy to be around. She made and still does make my life brighter to be in. After about 3 years of knowing her, people would jokingly make comments about how close we were as friends, and they were convinced we'd end up dating, or at least to me, unsure if they said the same to her. I realized that they were right. I had developed deeper feelings for M than just being friends, but she had a BF at the time, so I didn't pursue it until about a month after she became single. I told her how I felt, but she said that she was still suffering from her breakup with her BF at the time and wasn't looking for a relationship, which felt shit, but I understood. Looking back, I think she had already started dating her current BF, M26, and didn't want to hurt my feelings. At first, I wasn't a fan of him, partially for jealousy reasons, but mainly because he was somewhat known at the time as someone with anger issues and was liable to lash out at the time, so I was worried that he would hurt her. However, their relationship has done him a world of good. While I don't really hang out with him, he's become far more relaxed over the years, and so looking at them now, as much as it pains me to say it, they are yin and yang, a perfect couple. As pathetic as it sounds, I know M has been trying to convince him to propose for a while now, so I've been mentally preparing myself to tackle whatever feelings come about from it head on. Today it happened. She posted an image of her hand with a ring on FB, saying they had gotten engaged. I was hit with waves of sadness, joy, and apathy when I saw that. Sadness cause, even though I know they're meant to be, hope can be painful sometimes. Joy cause she's had a difficult life, and I know she's wanted this for a while, and I want her to have all the happiness in the world, and apathy, I guess, as the two other feelings collide. Even now, I find myself with a big smile on my face one second, and tearing up the next, all while I feel numb. My mind is buzzing, and it's difficult to think, as my poor handle on the English language in this post probably show. Now for the reason I am here. I truly want her to be as happy as possible, and I'm happy she got something she's wanted for so long. I don't want to be the woe is me kind of person, and I want to be the run away with me kind of person even less. She's happy, and no amount of sadness I'm feeling gives me the right to take that away from her, and like I said, they're a great couple, but I'm scared, honestly. I can't tear up around her if we're ever talking about this. I need to smile constantly, and it can never waver. I need to put my feelings aside and be her hype man from the start and forevermore, but I'm worried I'm not strong enough for that. I don't want her to have to worry about me, I don't want her to feel like there's any pressure on her. I did consider maybe just using this as the sign that her life is moving on and maybe it'll be better for their new life if I wasn't in it, but I don't know if that's how she feels and it could cause her stress. And even if she thinks the same, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. I want to know whether anyone has been through this and can offer some advice. Listening back, even I can hear myself saying this guy needs therapy, but is this something therapists even concern themselves with, and if so, what kind of therapist do I look for? If there's anything that isn't clear here, please ask. I know and this post, is all over the place right now. Comment. It's not healthy to be friends, let alone best friends, with someone you are harboring romantic feelings for. Honestly, cut her out of your life if you can't set aside your feelings. She isn't going to choose you at the last second. I don't think you can rely on a therapist to convince you not to have romantic feelings towards someone. Distance yourself from her. It may be hard, but seeing her and her social media is not going to be healthy from you. Focus on other things in life. Eventually she won't be a concern for you anymore. Maybe talk to someone as well, like a therapist perhaps. You could just tell her that you still have feelings and need time away to deal with those feelings. I had a friend tell me he had a crush on me and needed time away as I wasn't able to return those feelings. He didn't re-establish contact with me for like 5 months and I was perfectly fine with that.